Hello everybody, Steffi here from The Makers, and you're here today because we're going to make a tiny little fairy together, and here they are all looking pretty and dancing around. So this is definitely the smallest fairy that we've ever put into our fairy boxes, and I've seen a whole production line of people making them already, so that's really lovely to see that. It's by no means the smallest I have made, but they're definitely quite challenging and you need nimble fingers. So all of this comes, of course, from our fairy box, which is called Fairy Circle, and it's the where are we? Which months are we in? August box. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. We're in August already. You know what's going to happen in a few weeks' time. Everybody's going to go crazy trying to make things for Christmas. But that's good, because when you make something by hand, it comes from the heart, and then it matters so much more, and you don't even have to spend that much money doing it, because it's the thought and the love that counts, that's poured into it. Right, anyway, hello everybody who's watching today. Let's have a look what the giveaway question is today. So let's see. If you don't know this yet, if you're new watching, when we do this live, you can win a £15 gift voucher that you can spend at the Makers. And today we want to know, what is the tiniest thing you have ever needle felted, or the largest? So maybe you go large, maybe you prefer going large, or maybe you really like tiny things. There's definitely two camps of people, but do tell us, what has it been, the tiniest or the largest thing that you have ever needle felted? And then you pop that into the comments, whether you're watching live today on YouTube, today's the 16th of August, or whether you're watching this live again on Facebook at our on our Facebook main page at 7 p.m. on Thursday, the 18th of August 2022. Only then are you able to win yourself a £15 gift voucher. And of course, Alicia is at the other end of my in my ear, and she will tell me who the winner is for today's YouTube tutorial. Of course, on Thursday it will be a repeat of today's live stream, so it will all be in the comments on that day. Right, let's see who's here. And what better topic to talk about than the weather? If you ever struggle for anything to talk about, the weather always gets people going. So we've got Jane here today. Hi Jane, lovely to see you. Made it this week instead of on catch up. Great. Ashley is there. Hello. Laura is there. Hi, all love this month's and next month's boxes. Yes, I thought you would. I am not sure I love next month's box, having spent hours and hours trying to make it right so that I'm happy with it. I need a bit of a distance. I will be there again next month. Jane says, hi fluffy friends, no felting for me today, wearing a patch on one eye for another week due to a painful eye condition, but will be watching with one good eye and making next week. Yeah, no stuffing with one eye, that could go hideously wrong. Hi Bridget, Vampire Venom is there. Heather is here. Helen, Angela is there. Hi Steffi and Alicia and Fluff friends. I don't have the fairy box to make. I'm just indulging in some fluffy escapism. What a lovely thing to do. Fluffy escapism. I like that word especially. Oh, hi Nightingale. Bridget, enlighten us. Why are you saying hi Nightingale? Susan is there. Hi. Hello everyone. I hope you all had a good week. We've had a really stinking hot week here in the UK. I don't know about anybody else, but we have been definitely melting away with all this lovely sunshine. Karen is there. Another Karen, I think. I feel I've already said hello to Karen. Helen, Anne, Judy, Olga, Ashley, Judy, oh no, I've just mentioned Judy. Still no rain here either. We've been in the cloud, but the rain didn't come. Lily is there. Hello. She got her kit yesterday. Well, that's perfect timing. Sandra is there. The largest thing I have needle felted is the Maker's Barn Owl subs box last year. Aha, here we go. Still available as a pack, incidentally. So if you want to make the owl, then it's available. It is life size. Tara is there. First time here. Hello, Tara. Well done, first time viewer, live stream viewer. Melanie is there. Hello. And Bridget says she can't wait for the bat. I might just give you a little glimpse of the bat, but I tell you now, it's driven me literally batty. And I'm not saying that just because it sounds right when you talk about a bat. I have been tearing my hairs out. Right, so what? Let's have a look at the fairy box. You probably have seen maybe the contents already if you get the box, or maybe you've seen it during our unboxing, which happens either on the 1st or thereabouts of our new subscription boxes coming out. Incidentally, just to remind you, you can still get the box to make this a fantastic tiger moth, which is a garden tiger moth, that's specific moth, and you obviously don't get the frame, but you can you get the canvas to needle felt on, all the wool, all the instructions, lots of templates, and it has been endorsed by the Butterfly Conservation, so they've given us lots of lovely leaflets to put in there, and that I've seen some fantastic ones, absolutely much better than mine, much better than mine. So keep making them, keep them coming so that we can look at them. Right, let's have a look inside the fairy box. Here we go. So it's absolutely stuffed full to the brim. That's the instructions here. I shall take those in a minute. And then we've got this wealth of colors. Now I should just say I'm going to make one fairy today, not 6. But the fairies look like this. So there are, you can design your own little fairy because you've got all these possibilities of combination between the hair, the little coloured top, the skirt, and then you get different coloured wings as well. So you can design your own little fairy from this box, and it makes 6. You might only want to make 5. You might only want to make 1. But as I say, I have seen lovely fairies coming to life. And then you get the materials and the wool to make this colourful little ring as well. And you can hang them up and they can dance happily in the breeze or wherever you're planning to position them. So I'm going to put these back up again, and I'm going to have to randomly pick one color now. In any case, for the skin, we're actually this time using the lanolin rich core wool, only because it's so easy to wrap the wire with it, and actually on those small fairies, the paler skin color, it seems to work quite well. It's sort of quite a neutral color. And then you get the different wings, you get your thread for hanging the fairies up, you get Angelina fiber, all the essential Angelina fiber, you get one felting needle, different color for the hair, and all the different, this is, by the way, this is for the loop that you're making to hang the fairies up, so I'm going to put this to one side. Doesn't mean to say you can't use it for the fairy. This wire is also for making the loop. You can see it's definitely the right size. And then you have got these lovely colors to pick for your very summery looking fairies. You of course get your felting mat as you get in every fairy box, and then you've got a range of wires here, and they can sort of be all cut in one go, so that you've got all the arms and the bodies and the legs ready to take as and when you need them. Now this box will close this time because it hasn't got all the wool in it. I'm keeping it out, and I don't need to decide anything about these colors yet, because we're going to start by making the body and the arms first. Right, let's have a look in the instructions. I try and follow them as best as I can. Having written them, it's still very tempting to sometimes just go off on a tangent. So, so basically, to make one of these tiny fairies, you need, per fairy, you need 2 9-centimeter lengths of wire and 1 6-centimeter length of wire. Now this is, don't let me not lie, so I'm going to have a look at it. This is the 24 gauge wire, paper covered wire. We often give it away as a loyalty giveaway. So if you're a customer of ours, you might have some of this hanging around at home already. So now you know why you need it. And if you don't know much about centimeters, then do use the instruction tape measure on that side. So I need 2 of 9 centimeters, and I'm using scissors. Yes, I am naughty, but they actually work better than pliers on this very thin wire. And then you need 1 6 centimeter length of wire. The wires are actually, there's exactly the right amount to make 6 fairies, and you won't even have a centimeter left over. So that was quite lucky that it worked out this way. So I've got my my wire lengths here. Can hardly see them. They're so I'll tell you what, I'm just going to use another background. Put this over there, and then you can see the wires. This might be working better on this background here. So you can see the wires now. So 2 9 centimeters, 1 6 centimeter. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tease off a little bit of that lanolin rich core wool. Now the lanolin rich core wool has got little vegetable matter in it. So it's also often referred to as VM. If you see that written anywhere, VM means vegetable matter, nothing more or less. You can pick it out if you want to beforehand. With a little fairy, we're covering a lot of it up, so you might want to wait. It's a really bouncy, springing wool. Absolutely love it. Look, I can pull it, and it's almost like an elastic. And it's sort of, because it's got the natural sheep oil in it still, it wants to stick to itself. And it makes it a very good wool to wrap wire with without having to get frustrated that it slips around the wire and doesn't stick to itself. So the first thing is you are going to take, start with a 6 centimeter, so that's the shorter one, and that's going to be the head, and you start wrapping the wool around the end of it. However, if this is not working for you, maybe you're using a different wire, don't get frustrated. Just get a bit of glue. Don't have to tell anybody. Just stick it in the glue bottle. Get a tiny amount of glue on there. By the way, we love these glue bottles. It's brilliant glue. It's a PVA glue, but it's a really high quality PVA glue. It glues just about everything. Lots of people, even who are not needle felters, love it. Okay. So apparently I'm not very loud these days, and I have absolutely no idea why. I do have my mic up as loud as it possibly goes, and I really don't know what else to do about this. So without having to have a look around, and maybe let me just have a look if I can. So it's coming. Oh, okay. I have no idea what's happening here. Okay, I might just have to speak a little bit louder and then sort it out another time, because I genuinely don't know why the sound is coming out. Maybe it's coming out of the wrong one. Let me just try something out. Okay, just bear with me. Okay, this is the right mic, and I don't know why it's not working. I genuinely don't know. There's something, maybe I've messed with the settings unbeknown to me, so I'm going to just speak up a little bit. Right, I'm going back to the overhead camera, and so I've made a start here by wrapping the end of the wire and then bent it in so that the bend is covered, and now I need to build up bulk to make a little ball shape, and you can see that I'm keeping the wool flat like a ribbon, and I'm keeping my finger in the place here. My right hand, this one, is stopping the wool from slipping along the wire. So that is a way to create the ball shape without causing the wire to slip along and make it more long rather than round. And then you're going to take your fine needle, which comes in the kit, and you're going to stab into your little ball shape to keep it nice and round, which will be the head of the fairy. And you're going to aim for about 1.5 centimeters. So the ball shape, once it's felted down, needs to be about 1.5 centimeters. Not very big. Our other fairies are probably about twice the size to what we're creating here today. So it is a tiny, tiny little fairy. I'm just going to check the size against perfect size. So it's the size of small olive, I would say, if you have no tape measure whatsoever and have no idea what 1.5 centimeters is, it's the size of a small olive or a small grape, something like that. So maybe the fingernail of my thumb fingernail, something like that. Okay, so now that I've got the little head of the fairy done, I am going to take one of these lengths of wire, put the head to one side, and I'm going to repeat part of the process what I've done just then, but this time I've got to work a little bit more delicately because I'm not building a bulk at the end of the wire. I'm actually wanting to cover the wire to make the arms or legs, whichever one. Remember, stick this into the glue bottle if it annoys you that it's slipping around the wool. Otherwise, fold the wool over the end. This time, really work as neat as you can. When you get the end covered, bend it in by about 0.5 centimeter and then go over it again to make a nice, neat little either foot or fist, and work your way all the way across the rest of the wire. So now you do want to move the hand because you want to get all the way across. Normally when we do fairies, for the arms we leave a bit in the middle. For this one you don't need to do that. And to speed things up, wrapping things, sometimes it works better to switch the whole thing round and twist the wire. So twist this between your fingers and allow the wool to slip through your other hand, through the other fingers, so that you've got almost like a little dispenser going on here of wool, and go all the way across to the other side. Now, if you haven't got enough wool to go all the way across, then you can of course start at the other end the same way as you started on the first end. Remember to bend the end in. You don't want any sharp wires sticking out, and then just get rid of the rest of the wool and make sure that you tidy that last bit of the wool away once you've covered the end of that wire. So you've got a slightly bulging bit here for the hand, and then you've got the thin bit in the middle and then the hand at the other end. It works really well when you're hot and sweaty as I am today, because the wool it almost sticks to my fingers. It is still quite warm even though it's overcast today, but I carry heat in my body for a long time after the sun's been shining anyway. I'm like a lizard. It takes me ages to warm up and then I stay warm for a bit. Right, so I've done one set. Now I'm going to do exactly the same with the second 9 centimeter wire I haven't decided yet whether it's a leg or whether it's legs or arms. So repeating the whole thing again, going this is very similar to what we do with the larger fairies, for which we've got absolutely loads of instructions on our YouTube channel. So they stay on our playlist, how to make the fairies, especially since we started at the beginning of this year to make each of our fairy boxes as a live stream every month. So next month is maybe a good time to talk about it. Next month it's the month of September, and the stone for September is the sapphire, so we're making a sapphire fairy. So if your birthday is in September, or you have a friend whose birthday is in September, might be a nice thing to make them a fairy. Or maybe you just like blue fairies. Right, 2 arms, well, one set of arms, 1 set of legs, and now I've got to decide what is going where. Now if you have to make that decision, then you could decide that the thinner part will become the arms and the slightly thicker one the legs. Not that there's much in it, but in any case, whatever your legs are going to be, you bend them in half so you have that middle point here at the top. And now we're going to bring that head back in, and first off you're going to use the arms and you wrap them around the wire that comes out of the head. So on this occasion you're just going to wrap it, even though there isn't a bare part in the middle, because they're so thin, the wire is still so thin. Make sure that you've got same length arms on either side, of course, so that we don't have a wonky armed fairy. And then you're going to insert the wire around that bend in the leg about, and this is always the same when I make fairies, that bit from the top of the legs to the bottom of the head, or where the arms are, needs to be about as big as the head is, so you would almost like fit another head into that cavity there. And so you go and trap the legs in that wire by just going round it a couple of times, and then any excess just fold it up and let it sort of twist around the body. There's not much here, but that has now created a stickman. Basically, you've made a stickman. If nothing else, you've made a stickman. And I love this part of making the fairy, because it's like you can pose them in all kinds of different positions to sort of if you took lots of photos, you could do a little stop motion or a little cinema with a stickman or with a fairy that's getting ready and getting dressed, which is exactly what I'm doing now. I've taken another strip of that wool, and now I'm putting bulk onto the fairy, going around the body first, around the midriff, to build a little bit of bulk and to hide the wire. And I'm just going to the next page, making sure that I'm following the instructions. And then you wrap some around the top of the legs as well. So it's almost like you're sort of putting some knickers on her by going round here and just building up the bulk, and going around the top a little bit more. So you can see they're all sort of in different positions. I really do love that about making these fairies. And if you've got too much wool, obviously take some off. This is not the finished color. So I'm going to take some off, put it to one side. Right, I'm going to let you catch up if you're making along. I haven't used my needle yet. I could, however, because there's a bit of wool sticking out there, so I'm just going to tuck this away because it's bothering me now. But you might have been a lot neater in your working and you might not have to do this, but I'm just tucking this in now. There's no color on the fairy at all yet, so in a minute I need to make a decision what color top she's going to have, and yeah, so that's going to be something that I've got to decide in a minute. But at the moment she looks like that. So let's have a look at some of the comments that are coming through. What are the kind of projects that you have made, either the smallest or the largest? And while you're doing this, I will show you the smallest thing. It's not the smallest thing I've ever made, but it's certainly the smallest thing I've got sitting here. I've actually needle felted into a little acorn cup, a little forest. I think that was probably the smallest, which was a Christmas, like a pine tree, and then I put a little toadstool in there as well. Maybe I should have put the fairy in there, but this is the smallest fairy I've ever made. It's really titch. It's yeah, that was definitely not something I want to do every day, but she is tiny. So yeah, there you go. That's the tiniest fairy I've ever made. Let's have a look what you have been up to. Okay, so oh, check the volume in YouTube. Okay, let's have a look. No, I can't do anything in YouTube about the volume here, so that's not I don't think that's anything. I have no idea what's happened. I have a feeling that I've got 3 mics here, and I'm probably speaking into a different one, and but I don't know how to change that without faffing now. So if you can live with it, let's just let it be. Like I say, I'm speaking up a little bit. Largest thing I've ever made was Will the Woodman at the summer retreat. Oh, that leads me to something else. Maybe you will be making something else really large at the winter retreat. The winter retreat is open now for bookings, 20th to the 22nd of January, and it's at the beautiful Wilderness Center, where I will just warn you now, it's only shared accommodation. However, I will also just say the shared accommodation is not so you have to talk to each other and you basically fall asleep holding hands. It's not like that. They're individual bunk beds, and you could sleep at the top if you wanted to, or at the bottom, but each room has some of them have got 3 to 4 bunk beds, and they're also laid out so that they're kind of quite private, sometimes separated with a wardrobe, or even like a stud wall that goes sort of halfway through the room. So it's not as if you have to be friendly to each other, or if you find that it's really not your cup of tea to share, you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. I'm absolutely certain. But just thought I should tell you that. Maybe you could bring a curtain and close yourself in, hanging down from the top bunk. There's an idea. So whatever your worries are, then maybe talk to us, but we are doing shared accommodation. Otherwise we cannot come to the wilderness center, because nobody wants to sleep in a tent in January. Trust me, even if you think you do not want to sleep in a tent in January. So that is happening. Get in touch, info@themakers. Remember, Christmas is not far around the corner, and if you need a present from maybe one of your loved ones, this is an idea. Maybe they can chip in, and rather than buying you some random stuff that you probably are too polite to say you don't like it, let's get something that you actually really do want. And now is the time to sign up for that winter retreat. So info@themakers.co.uk if you want to get onto that retreat. And we're filling up nicely, so we're quite pleased about this. We'll be going to lots of fairs, and we'll be telling people about it, so I feel quite confident that we get a nice number of people together again. It's always the fine balance. You don't want too many, and you also don't want too few. So up to 18 to 20 people, I think it's an ideal number. Right, what else are people saying? Oh, okay. So somebody actually says I'm louder than normal. Oh my goodness, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Jane says my tiniest are little bees and ladybirds, which I sell in tiny tins as pocket pets. Oh, that's such a nice idea. Carol says smallest thing I've made is a bookworm. Largest is the leaping hare. Ah, nice. Yeah, that leaping hare. Our leaping hare anyway, it was big. Largest the owl, says Judy. Alison says, hi everyone. Largest make is the barn owl. Smallest is an acorn. Carolyn says, another Carolyn, or have I don't know if it was a Carol. A hedgehog and the owl are the largest things I have made. Tara says, I'm a complete newbie. Is this okay to start with? The fairy, this tiny fairy, well, if you're into fairies, it's okay, but there are many other projects that are easy to start with. We have a whole range of kits. Just go onto our website, www.themakers.co.uk, and all of the kits that are listed, kits and packs, they will tell you if they're suitable for beginners. If you're buying a pack, you do need tools. If you buy a kit from us, you get all the tools in there. But if you love fairies, any fairy will do. We also still have got fairies left over from last month, which was the moon fairy, and I think we might have some bee fairies left. However, I don't know if they're listed right now, because I think I might be taking them to the show. Lorna says, largest I've made, my gnome I made on this summer retreat. He's about the same height as my 2 dinosaur. Ah, okay, so the dinosaurs as well. That was another retreat project, though I don't think, Lorna, you made that one. At our retreat anyway. The largest thing I've ever made is a life-size goose and a big gnome. You sometimes can see them, and a big chicken, and a flamingo, life-size flamingo. So yeah, I've done big things before. Right, let's go back to our fairy here. So she's needs some clothes now, and basically you've got the choice in, if you have our fairy kit, to choose from these different color wools, or a mix thereof. Okay, so this is the big decision making. I mean, let's just say, face it, there will be lots of wool left over as well. So it is a tough one, because you can literally do it and then tear it off and try another one. Nothing will be wasted. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do a purple one, because you can't see it on purple. So maybe I should do this, use this lovely variegated mix of merino and silk. And of course, or maybe I should use a color where you can see the Angelina fiber contrast better. So Angelina fiber, there's plenty in there. If you've never worked with Angelina fiber, be aware it even just the single slightest fiber will spread anywhere. But I am going to, oh, I skipped ahead. We need to do the upper body first. Oh yes, let's use blue. Blue is a nice contrasting color here. So what you've done earlier, you've wrapped the fairy. You're going to do that again, but this time you're covering the top part of the fairy. So and you cover the upper body by wrapping thin tight layers onto the upper part of the fairy. And then you're also going round the neck and the top of the shoulders. We haven't done that yet. So this is just to give it sort of a more of a distinct shape, but also to cover, we want to cover all of the wire that is that's there, and we haven't covered on between the head and the neck yet. So this is something that you need to do. Still, you don't need to needle felt, to be honest, but you can if you want to. If something's bothering you because it's sticking out, then give it a little stab. And I'm just going to do a little bit more, because you're also meant to cover just the top of the arms for a tiny little sort of sleeve, pretend sleeve, if you like, just so that the arms are not completely white. And then pull that tight as well. So I am going to use my felting needle now, and I'm going to stab a little bit into here, just fastening it on, and do it here on the back as well. So you have a little felting mat, the little this one here, this wool mat, that's made from recycled wool, and it's 100% compostable in your home compost as well. So if you don't want it anymore, just put it in your compost, or you can incorporate it into other makes. We've had a whole thing where people were telling us what they use their discarded felting mats for, from filling it out inside a cup, like a scene in a teacup, or making little pictures onto them, or whatever takes your fancy. So they are perfectly good to needle felt onto as well. Right, so now I'm going to have to spend some time mixing Angelina fiber into the wool. So I said not to use that because you can't see the Angelina fiber. So I'm choosing to use this pale mountain sheep, and you have to work in small quantities, including the Angelina fiber. It is absolutely terrible. It does leave a little sparkle mark everywhere. So put this on top, and now all you need to do is tease the wool apart and mix the fiber in. So the fiber itself does not felt, but when you mix it into wool, it gets trapped. And look, can you see the sparkle here? This is just a tiny little one there. And you're going to make several batches of this little skirt, because you need to now attach it to the fairy. So notice I folded the top part in, attach it to the fairy, but it won't go all the way around because you want it to be nice and have a nice volume there. So you're starting to felt it on to the fairy in that bend that you've just made. Bent it over, and now you're going to take another batch and a little bit more Angelina fiber, mix it, and then you attach it in the same way again. So I think you will be probably doing sort of 5 to 6 little batches. I can't remember now, but maybe not that many, depending how big the batches are in the first place. But I'm working my way around it, felting into that bent top, and giving the fairies sort of a fairly high waist. They always look nicer if they've got a shorter upper body. And oh look, she's like leaning over to one side. She's doing some stretching and yoga or something like that. I think it would be so fun to have these different, just do a little stop motion with the fairies when they're dressed like that, and do, maybe you can show yoga poses with using the fairies. That'd be fun. Have a whole little needle felted wool poster with or have a wool poster with needle felted yoga poses on it. Maybe somebody is getting an idea here. There we go. Felt that down as well. And the skirt's building up nicely. It looks a bit flat at the moment, but that's okay. It's also definitely worth lifting it off because you can see where there's a gap still. So on this side, I think I need another little bit. So you can see I've barely used half of this wool. You will need to use a little bit of that for another fairy's upper body color, but you do have plenty of wool to do this and have some left over. So you don't need to weigh anything or portion it out because you might worry you run out of wool. You're not going to run out of wool. You will have extra left over. There's no way you're going to make these fairies give them any more wool than what you've got there. Right, so I've got a little skirt there now. It's sticking out, and what always helps is if you felt into that area underneath the skirt as well where you've attached it, because that is an extra security, but it also makes sure that the skirt is sticking out rather than hanging down flat as you've just seen it. So once you've done this, obviously you're lowering the skirt again. So now you've got a little ballerina there, almost like a ballerina. You can pull it down a bit more. You can trim it if you want to. There's all kinds of things. You can add more wool, anything you want to do. It's entirely up to you. It's your fairy. You noticed me putting the arms out of the way so that I can work with her. Right, I'm going to let you catch up on that as well now. There's the little fairy. She's wearing the same color top as me. We're alike. I don't wear a pink skirt, however. And I wanted to tell you about some of the other things. So the puffin, that was one of our makers boxes last year, I believe, is still available for you to join as a Zoom workshop. Now, if you don't have the puffin pack, don't worry, because that comes free if you sign up to the Zoom, and we'll post it out to you. It's on the 30th of August. You haven't got oodles of time anymore, so I probably suggest maybe abroad is a little bit tricky, but if you're in the UK, you definitely can still get the puffin pack, and we send a full toolkit free of charge to you if you sign up for the Zoom workshop. In the UK, you get free shipping as well. If you're signing up outside the UK, then you will have to pay for the postage, but you still get the puffin pack and the toolkit for free. And here he is, all ready for you to make him. It's a life-size puffin. I've yet got to meet one. I really want to meet one. I think they're amazing birds, and it's going to be fun making this together with you guys. It's over 2 evenings, 2 hours each, and there might be a little bit of homework in the middle, but there's a whole week in between, so you can sometimes people prefer that they can just have a bit of peace and quiet and get on with it and then come together again and show what they have done. So that's one thing that I wanted to tell you. I should also tell you that the next live streams coming up is the Phoenix from the fairy folk book. I'll show you that in a minute. Then it's already time to look inside our September subscription boxes, which are themed. It's a fruit bat. It's the Peter's epauletted fruit bat, and then it's a sapphire fairy, as I mentioned, and then the surprise box is themed Indian summer. I've got another thumbnail I can show you. And then on Tuesday the 6th of September, we're going to make the apple child from yet another book that I've written, Simple Needle Felts, and just in time when all the apples are ready to be picked. And I mean, they're ready already, but we've got a really late apple tree and it's going to take ages. But the Phoenix is in from the book, so if you've got the book, you have an advantage because you can look and see the step-by-step instructions in there, and you know exactly the quantities that you need to do it. These books you can buy from the makers, and they're signed copies, signed by me. So if you want to get the book, it is actually amazing. There are 30 magical needle felted characters in there. Some of them are not are only magical because they're amazing, but some of them, you know, there's a kingfisher, for example, in there. There is a fawn in there, amongst all the different fairies, and butterfly fairies. We've done those before. They'll be on YouTube as well. There's the large fawn you can make, so maybe this will be a challenge of a large project, and some gnomes, of course, and a toadstool house. That one is also in on YouTube already, and yeah, lots of projects that you might be interested in. There's something there for everybody, beginner and advanced needlefelter. And of course, once you're a beginner, after a little while, you'll be advanced. So it serves you from the beginning all the way on your needlefelting journey. Let's see. Jane says, my largest item I've made was the gnome I made at the summer retreat. Made him from a bedtime storybook my little granddaughter likes. I really wanted to ask you how your granddaughter reacted to when you showed her the gnome. He was absolutely fantastic. I mean, all of the makes were amazing because they were also different, but I did like him too. I also loved it that you made him for your granddaughter. Oh, Helen says, largest is the volcano made to be the home of the Magic Dragon subs box. I've not seen a volcano. Helen, are you hiding that one from me? If it's so big, do share it with us, unless I missed it. Facebook is sometimes a bit naughty and doesn't show me everything. Yeah, I want to see it. Okay. Carolyn says, oh, that's a shame. I have no idea what that's referring to because I never read these comments in the proper order. Laura has made as the largest a fairy house and the smallest is a flower. Oh, there was just been a crack of thunder. And Christmas pudding earrings. That sounds like tiny as well. Actually, that reminds me, I've done some really tiny things like jewelry stuff. Diane says, hi, sorry, cannot watch today, but we'll watch on Thursday. I'm really enjoying making these little fairies. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've seen your progress of the fairies, so that's lovely. So many people commenting. Give us the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel. Tell all your friends what an amazing YouTube channel it is and how many free tutorials are available. And of course, if you're watching this on Facebook, have you recently liked or followed our page? Facebook is naughty, sometimes they kick you out. So check that you are still subscribed to getting all the updates on our Facebook page. And maybe you have never liked us, maybe you only follow us. Just check it, who knows, right? Our Facebook page, if you don't know about it, if you're trying to find us, our Facebook handle is actually themakers.co.uk, and on Instagram we are just the makers. So not just the makers, we're the makers, not just the makers. Anyway, look behind me, that side, and you can see it there. Right, let's give our little fairy some eyes, and I'm going to the overhead view here again. And you got some black in here. That's the sole purpose for this is to do tiny little eyes, and so you will have some left of that as well. So I twizzle that between my thumb and index finger, and I'll lay it onto the fairy so that it's halfway across the face, so that it's the middle line going from side to side, and then you felt it down into, this is why you need the fine needle, felt it down into the head. Some people don't like to give them faces, that's absolutely fine. As tiny as you can go. Tiny is better than big when it comes to features on fairies. And that head has become a bit loose from manhandling fairy. So if you don't like it, pull it out again. That looks a bit big, but I'm going to go with it for now. And then do another one on the other side. It's hard to get a sort of a start going because of course there's wire inside. So once you've got the needle, once you've got a foothold, so to speak, then it's easy. But be careful not to break your needle if you trying to fight against the wire. The needle is not going to win. The wire will win. Right, there we go. There's two black little eyes. I'm going to try and get that a little bit smaller. Sorry, concentration going on. Can't talk when I'm concentrating. And so she's got two little eyes, and now I'm going to give her a dainty little mouth. And for that, you can just use any of the pinks that you've got. So I'm going to use some of this here, tiny little bit, and put that here. Oh my goodness, there's nowhere to go in there. She's got very bright lips at the moment. If you can't go straight in, then try and go in at an angle. Once you've got, like I say, once you've got a foothold, then just use that to push the wool in. But it is, oh, actually, no, that is felted on. Did we felt that on? Yes, we did. On one of the other fairies, you're actually using a fine liner to draw a face, which of course you can do here as well. There's many ways of giving faces to fairies, including using embroidery thread and embroidering it on. So it doesn't have to be felted if that's not working for you. And of course, I've got to adjust some of the head now that I've got a... Right, there she is. No hair at the moment, so that's going to happen next. Yes, what hair to pick? Well, I'm just going to pick this blonde hair now. The way to do this, you choose the yarn color that you want. Remember, you've got 3 different ones to pick from. There will be enough for the 6 fairies. So what you could do is split this in half to make sure that you're not overrunning your allocated yarn. It's just sort of a rough guide here. And you don't, so they're about 1 meter long of each of those yarns. So if you split them into 50 centimeter portions, then you have exactly the amount for each fairy. And you take that one and loop it into shorter loops, so you can wind this around your fingers. And then all you're going to do is, I'm not even going to cut this off, I'm keeping it as a continuous wool. Start felting it into the side of the head of the fairy to frame the face. That's what how I always start with the fairy hair, is framing the face first, and then do more loops. And then you could, in theory, I mean, you could cut this if you want to frame the face first. Let's do that. I think that's what, in fact, what I'm doing. Do another loop, another run of the yarn around your fingers. Then do this on the other side. Make sure you cover the top of the head at the same time. It always looks nice when the hair falls into the face. So don't be too like, you can always push it out again, but once it's felted down and away from the face, you might not be able to get it back in again. And felt that down. So at the moment she looks lovely from the front, but she has actually got a bit of a bare patch. But luckily there's some yarn left, and I'm going to felt that on as well now. And then I've got a full head cover. I'm pretty certain I've actually taken less than half of that yarn. So you can see you have plenty with 50 centimeter of this yarn. This one is an alpaca. Well, they're all alpaca mixes, but this is what we would call a boucle yarn. So these are our little loopy locks, and the one that I'm using right now is not in our program at the moment, so that's exclusive to the fairy box. We have a similar one that's a mohair, but it's a lot coarser, so we've gone for a much finer alpaca one here. There you go. And I guess that completes the fairy, but for the wings, which I can attach to her in a minute as well. Sometimes you've got to tidy them up a little bit, because with you touching them and moving them around, things can get a bit disheveled. So just tidy her up a bit. And you can bend the little feet in, and obviously bend the arms how you want them to be, and then pick a set of the wings. These paper bags, they can be recycled as well, so they are environmentally friendly. And we have a winner Okay, so we have a winner for today's £15 voucher on YouTube, which I can announce on Thursday. Alicia will put it into the comments. It is a lady called Helen. We normally don't mention surnames, but because there's two Helen P's, I'm going to say that the one who has won is Helen Perkins. So Helen Perkins, well done for winning the £15 gift voucher today. All you need to do is pop onto our pop us an email, info@themakers with 2s.co.uk. Say you won today, and we will email you back with the voucher code that you can use anytime. It doesn't expire, it doesn't go off, it doesn't suddenly stop existing, and it will maybe allow you to buy something nice from us at any point. Right, just quickly going back to the fairy overhead. So to add the wings, you need to sort of separate the hair away a little bit, and whatever wings you choose, I'm just going for these colorful ones here now. You just need a tiny little bit of wool here at the back. You can also sew them on, or you can glue them on. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to use a tiny little bit, maybe I use that lighter. Whatever color is most in harmony with the wing here at the back, so the one that you see the least, so I wouldn't put a black spot there. I'm just felting it on with a tiny little bit of that pale pink, and that's all it takes. They're now secure, and you can put the hair back over it again as well. So and then you can see the fairy from that side. She's got her wings, she's got her little skirt, and that is basically one of the 6 fairies you can make from the fairy box in August, and only 5 more to make. Over to you. I know that many of you have already made them, and they are happily dancing on our Everyone a Maker Facebook group. That's a different one if I haven't mentioned that yet, but come and join it. We just want to know that you're there out of personal interest and that you're happy to promote the makers' products. And then that's all you need to do, answer those questions and in the affirmative, and then we let you in. And there's the little fairy. I'll just bring her up a little bit closer. So you can definitely see the sparkle of the Angelina fibre, and like I say, you can vary your own fairies and make them in whatever colourway you want to be. If you're getting the fairy box, then you're restricted to these colours. Right, I'm just going to check quickly that I have missed something. Okay, couple of things. First of all, the Lion workshop. I want to say there are some spaces left, but there might not be on the second date. The second date is the 17th to the 18th of September, but it's definitely worth checking. However, the first date, the 10th to the 11th of September, I'm pretty certain there are dates still available. So if you want to come and learn from a master needlefelter, not me, but from Joan Prowse, who's an artist needlefelter, she does other artist work as well, then do come and come to our Nailsworth workshop. This is where it's going to take place. Let us know that you want to come, and we obviously sign you up for it. £350 per person includes all the materials and tools and refreshments and lunch for you to be there for the 2 days and make the lion. Which I'm going to show you now. As before, not that one, sorry, that one. As before, email us, info@themakers with 2s.co.uk, and we've had a little Zoom session as a private meetup with Joan for those who had second thoughts or wanted to ask more questions. And we are talking at the moment about doing potentially a Zoom workshop for those who can't travel to us to be there. So that is still we're still talking about this, and as soon as we've got some news on that, I will let you know. And I very nearly forgot. So our holiday mouse is still, you can still buy the holiday mouse kit. Hopefully you've submitted all your photos into the competition, and that is now closed. So the winner has either been drawn or will be drawn, but that was closed yesterday. And of course, you can also still buy the gardening mouse, but we are now working on a new kit, and it's going to be the Halloween mouse. And you can get her very soon, or him, and it makes the whole thing, including the wings and the little pumpkin, jack-o'-lantern, and it's a color mouse that we haven't done before yet. So if you want to add to your mouse collection, then this one is the Halloween mouse. And I think it's a scared looking mouse. I think he needs a little bit of love and reassurance that it's okay to go out on Halloween with the jack-o'-lantern that he's carrying. So that's coming up. Keep an eye out. That should be coming out very, very soon, definitely this month. And then there's something else. Oh yes, how could I forget? Let's not forget our lovely, lovely Robin. Robin, the kit is still available to buy from our, and is continuing to buy. Incidentally, if you're watching this and you've got a shop and you want to stock the kit, get in touch. We do sell that as a wholesale product as well as many of our other kits. She's a lovely, lovely character from the Artman Robin stop motion animation, I should say, and you can make her from the kit. She's a fair size. I've seen some come alive, so it's beautiful to see them being made. And the kit is big as well, full as well, popping open. And watch out for some little videos and live streams to show you more about Robin and the contents of the kit and anything else that you might be interested in. And I'm just going to have a very quick look that I definitely haven't forgotten anything. So no, I think I'm there. I don't know, does anybody want to see the badge? Do you? Okay, I'm going to just show you in that case the thumbnail for the upcoming sub boxes, and I'll quickly go and get it's not the one that you can see on the screen now. I've done it, improved the design. I wasn't happy with the wings, to say the least, and yes, so it's been redone, and I'm pleased to say it's worked, and I'm actually really, really loving it now, though I think I need a little bit of a break from it before I can yes, there you go, there's the bat hanging out as they do, and he's going to hang for a little bit before he's the project for September. Right, I think I've covered everything that I can possibly cover. Share your little fairy with us. We'd love to see it on Everyone a Maker or on Instagram. Just tag us, the makers. And I will be back next week with, forgotten already, with a phoenix. Is that right? Yes, the phoenix is coming next week on the 23rd of August. Wow, it's getting later and later in the year. Okay, that's all I've got to say. Take care, everybody. Lots of love. And maybe I see you at the Festival of Quilts this week. We're setting up on Wednesday, and we will be there at the show Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Lots of workshops. I think there might be some spaces available. I'm doing a book signing session as well on every day. And we are doing make and takes at the stand. So hopefully see you then. See you soon.